Dearest gentle reader, did you miss me? This project was inspired by the new season of Bridgerton. I have read 6 of the books and I love the story. I also love the Empire line dresses of the Regency era with the fitted bodices that end just below the bust and high-waisted skirts. I made my dress with a flared skirt and rose puff sleeves. It was a very interesting process. Here's how I did so. I'll be using a single heavy-duty sewing machine, the model 4411 made in China. And here are the patterns I used. I modified my bodice block into an underbust bodice, the Empire line style, and also modified my sleeve block into a puff sleeve. I used 5 yards of a silk satin for the shell. The drape and flow was perfect for this dress, and I used 3 yards of polyester lining for the skirt. This tutorial is divided into 3 main parts: pattern drafting, fabric cutting, and sewing. With an Empire line style, the bodice length is reduced to the underbust level. Here's how to construct the front bodice. I started with a 2-dart bodice block with the bust dart located at the mid-shoulder and the waist dart. Measure the underbust level. It's the vertical distance from the highest point of the shoulder to just beneath the bust. And then draw a straight horizontal line at the underbust level. And then I did a bit of contouring along the line to cinch the area in a bit by increasing the waist dart along the line by 5/8 of an inch on both sides, and then connect the contouring points to the bust dart with curved lines. Now transfer the bust dart from the mid-shoulder to the waist. To do this, first draw a straight line from the center of the waist dart to the bust dart apex. Then cut through this line. Then fold in the bust dart at the shoulder, which will transfer the dart to the waist. Reduce the shoulder seam to 2 inches and then tighten the new shoulder by doing a 1/4 inch decline. I lowered the neckline depth by 6 inches and drew a new neckline by connecting that new point to the new shoulder seam. Now cut out the new shoulder and the new neckline. Now do a bit of contouring in the neckline to prevent gaping. Create a neckline dart a 1/4 of an inch wide. Connect this to the bust apex. Slash through one of the dart legs and transfer the dart to the waist by folding and closing over the new neckline dart. The neckline would appear distorted by this dart closing, so place a piece of paper underneath and redraw it. Also stick a piece of paper to cover up the gap of the widened dart from all the dart transfers. Extend the underbust dart legs by a 1/4 of an inch. Lower the underbust line at the center front by 1/8 of an inch. Redraw the underbust line and then cut out the pattern. And here's the front Empire line bodice pattern. Next is the back bodice. Along the center back, draw a short guideline that is 1/2 inch below the armhole depth. This will serve as the neckline depth when drawing the new scooped neckline at the back. Reduce the shoulder seam to 2 inches and then tighten the new shoulder by doing a 1/4 inch decline. And draw a new neckline by connecting that new point to the new shoulder seam. Now do a bit of contouring in the neckline to prevent gaping. First mark a point 4.5 inches from the top and draw the across back line. Now draw a straight line from the center of the waist dart up to the across back line and extend the waist dart apex up to the across back line. And then draw a straight horizontal line at the underbust level. Now cut out the new shoulder and the new neckline. Now cut out the extended dart and tape the pieces together. The neckline would appear distorted by this dart closing, so place a piece of paper underneath and redraw it. And then cut out the pattern. And here's the back Empire line bodice pattern. Here's how I modified my sleeve block into a puff sleeve. The length below the bicep line is 2 inches. Partition the pattern into 4 with 3 evenly spaced lines, and then slash through the lines from the top but not all the way to the bottom. and then spread each line along the top by 2 inches. To create the puff, raise the cap height by 2 inches. Then, stick the pattern onto a fresh piece of paper and redraw the sleeve head curve. And here's the puff sleeve pattern. Finally, add seam allowances to the 3 patterns drafted. The front bodice will be cut on fold, 2 separate pieces will be cut for the back bodice, and 2 sleeves will be cut. So you'd need 2 sets for the front bodice, one for the shell and one for the lining. You'd also need 2 sets for the back bodice, 2 pieces for the shell and 2 pieces for the lining. Now join the front and back bodice pieces together. First sew the underbust darts on the front bodice, and then join them at the shoulder and at the sides. The underbust darts on the lining piece were stitched the traditional way, but the underbust darts on the shell piece were stitched with gathers. For the skirt, I used a quarter circle skirt, 1/4 for the front and another quarter for the back. And here's how to get the cutting points. On the fabric pieces, measure the front bodice width without the darts, and also measure the total back bodice width. Then, use this chart to derive the quarter circle radius for the respective widths. First, mark out the radius points along the squared corner of a piece of fabric, and then connect the points with a curved line. The width of this line will be the same as the bodice width either in front or at the back. Mark out the skirt length downwards from that first curved line, and then connect the points with another curved line. This will be the skirt hem. So draw out the curved line, and then cut 1/2 inch above the line, being seam allowance. And here's the quarter circle skirt piece for the front. Measure the skirt length, and then mark out the curved skirt hemline and cut. And here's the quarter circle skirt piece for the back. Cut this piece into 2 separate pieces. Finally, join the skirt front piece to the 2 back pieces, sewing along the sides. And then, join the completed bodice to the completed skirt. Here's the completed shell dress. And here's the completed lining dress. Then, attach a zip to the shell dress. I opted to use an invisible zip because it gives a clean, discreet finish. To finish the neckline neatly, join the shell and the lining dresses at the neckline and at the center back. And here's the finished neckline. Also understitch the lining to the seam allowance so that it lays flat. Here's how to modify the puff sleeve pattern into a rose shape. First, cut out 2 pieces with the pattern, one for the left sleeve and one for the right sleeve. These will be the sleeve lining pieces. Next, cut the pattern into 2 equal parts starting from the bottom, but leave a small hinge at the top. Spread it open at a right angle and place on a squared piece of fabric and cut. Mark guide points at the center of the slash pattern against the fabric, and this fabric piece will be used to create the rose shape. Cut 2 pieces, one for the left sleeve and one for the right sleeve. These will be the sleeve shell pieces. Next, fold it in half, and sew from the marked guide point to the folded edge. And after sewing, you would see an outline of the puff sleeve on one side and a triangle for the rose shape on the other side. Now push the pointy edge outwards and arrange the triangle in neat folds to create a rose shape. Now place the lining piece against the shell piece right sides to right sides and stitch both together along the bottom edge. Tack down the rose folds to the lining piece with tiny hand stitches and understitch the lining so it lays flat. And here are the beautiful rose puff sleeves. This is easily my favorite part of this dress. Next, fold each sleeve and stitch together, creating a tube for the arms. Gather the sleeve head and then attach the sleeve to the dress armhole. I finished the skirt hemline with a baby hem. First I folded in the bottom edge by 1/2 inch and then I sewed close to the folded edge and then I trimmed off this excess down to 1/8 inch. I folded in again and sewed against the first stitch. I absolutely love my new dress. It has a romantic feminine silhouette and I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of the sewing process. It looks perfect for attending one of Queen Charlotte's fabulous balls. Now, all I need is a cordial invitation. Thank you for watching.